Hello, Father. Welcome to my YouTube channel, you guys. So, I know that I have just been trying so many different things because I'm crazy and I have so many ideas and I can't decide what I want to do. But I've decided, finally. YouTube for Ryan. Sam and Ryan is going to continue, so rejoice and be glad. Sam and Ryan is all fine and dandy. But I've decided that I want to really focus on using my platform on YouTube to talk about my music projects. Period. End of story. Love talking about the news. Love talking about social issues. I'm going to keep doing that. But Ryan McCartan's YouTube channel is about music. And I have a lot of aspirations to bring you into my home studio because I am a music producer. I'm an engineer. I'm a writer. All of the music that I make, it happens in my house. And I have a very unique situation where I can show you exactly how my music is made. You can have a 360-degree look into how my songs are made, but also you can have input into what kind of music you want to hear, and I'm really excited to bring you that. But before I do, I have a song coming out on March 26th. It's called Pink and Green. And I'm super stoked on it. I really like the song. I hope that you guys will too. And I thought today, just sort of to introduce you to the format of me talking about music, but also to just like shamelessly self-promote a little bit, I'm going to take you into my studio and dive into the track itself and show you some of the things that I think make Pink and Green kind of special. So I'm going to show you that. Hopefully then you will fall in love with the song as much as I have, and we're going to have a grand old time. So 3, 2, 1, music content. Okay, so the first thing, so this is the entire workstation. Here's all the vocals. I have some pads underneath the vocals. These are more vocals. These are horns. These are synths and basses. Drums are down here. Okay, so it's a big track, obviously. But this is just something I nerd out about. I don't know, maybe no one cares. This is a sort of production tip that I think is just really useful and something that I'm always trying to think of when it comes to making music. So I'm going to play a little bit of the first verse of the song here. Her eyes were the size of the lies that I tell when I say I don't love her. Her smile. So I have that horn there, ba 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 ba, and I think that's really nice. And that's how the first verse sounded for a long time. Love her, ba 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 ba. But you hear there's still some silence, that nothing really happens. And so, especially when you're trying to produce pop music, you want the listener's ear to be engaged every second. And so it's always about adding, I'm a big fan of this guy over at Make Pop Music. He calls it ear candy. It's all about adding ear candy, something to listen to in every second. So I took this little bit, I recorded myself doing this. I mean, I don't even know how many tracks there are, probably 15. The lyric is, her eyes were the size of the lies that I tell when I say I don't love her. And so I added this little part, and I just doubled it 1,000,000 times so it sounded like a big crowd, but it's just my voice. And so on its own, it might sound kind of stupid, but it's just me going, I don't love her. But in the background, as some ear candy, it really kind of engages the ear and then brings it right back to the verse. Check it out. And it's nice because it comes in at the tail end of that horn. So it's not that we're just relying on the horn to keep people engaged, but we're also not just relying on that vocal throw to keep people engaged. They work together and they almost happen in concert, which I just think is entertaining, if nothing else. All right, now this one's going to be a lot more subtle, but something you're going to hear me talk about a lot because this is just so useful. If you look down this row here, you can see all of these knobs between left and right, and this is panning. So we have a lot of stuff going right down the center, the drums, the bass, and then obviously a lot of my vocals are going right down the center as well. But sometimes you want to pan things off to the left or right to get that stereo spread, and it moves the sound out of the way for those main pieces of the mix to come through. And I really like these drums right here. So I don't know if you're going to be able to pick that up sitting at home, but right here, this first tom that hits, it's a little off to the left, and the second tom that hits is all the way off to the right. And if you were listening in headphones or maybe in a car, it would literally sound like the drummer was hitting over here and hitting over here. And that gives a really, really fun and unique sense of space. I like putting some space in the percussion because a lot of the times percussion is going right down the center. But I'll play it for you in the context of the entire mix so you can kind of hear it.
And her dress was pink and green, and I think she's all I ever wanted.
I just think it's cool. Bum, bum. It feels like the sound is happening around you 360 degrees. So that's another thing that I wanted to point out. Do you like me nerding out about this stuff? I hope you're nerding out about it too. So we're going into the second verse now. And you'll see we have the same problem. There's a lot of space to fill up there, right? So what I first did was I added some strings. And that was cool, you know what I mean? That was fine, but it wasn't quite enough. I didn't feel like it was really grabbing my ear in the same way that the other ear candy was from the first verse. So then what I did was I added my voice singing with the strings. It's very subtle, but see if you can hear it.
If I'm lost in it now and forever.
And again, it just gave it some dimension, especially because that da-da, right? It's very filtered. This bottom end stuff, everywhere from 20 all the way up to almost 800 hertz, is basically cut completely out. So it becomes very thin, and I've made it very wet with a lot of reverb. That's all this stuff down here. And that makes it seem like it's way off in the distance, almost with the strings, almost part of that sort of chorus in the chamber kind of thing, which I thought was fun. Okay, so now we're in the bridge. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of these things. A lot of the times people ask me, like, where do you get your inspiration for your lyrics, or how did you come up with that line? I just want to show you something. So it's really just that line. Her face sent me places that Shakespeare can't take me. If you haven't noticed from the little bits of information I've been giving you from the song, her dress was pink and green. Her eyes were the size of the lies that I tell when I say I don't love her. Her face sent me places. It's all about being so infatuated with someone, noticing every detail about their personage and just loving everything that you see. And so it's all about this part of her and what it makes me feel, this part of her and how I can describe it. And so when I got to the bridge, I was like, what else could I write about? How else could I articulate this? And I heard that Phineas song where he goes, eyes the shade of green that would make F. Scott Fitzgerald cry. And I was like, that is so brilliant. And so actually when I was coming up with this bridge, I was like, what's like a way that someone has described someone in a song that's like really inspiring that I could try to draw off of? And the fact that Phineas sort of evoked this author, F. Scott Fitzgerald, I was like, oh, that's quite clever. Her face took me places that Shakespeare can't take me. Her waist like a wave that I let overtake me. I was like, oh, here we go. And so that's why Shakespeare is randomly in my song. So thanks, Phineas. I hope I win a Grammy too someday. And then the other cool thing that I like about this bridge in particular, and this is just another nerdy songwriter thing, so far in the song, everything that I've described has been about her. Her eyes, her face, her waist, her hair, her smile, everything has been about her. The one time I describe me is at the very end of this bridge, when I say, and my cheeks were red.
Her hands when we danced had me running in circles, and my cheeks were red. And her dress was pink and green.
And I just really like that for a couple reasons. One, I like that it's all about her, and we just have this one moment that comes out of nowhere. Everything else falls out, and it's about me for 2 seconds. You hear it kind of go and suck into that moment there.
My cheeks were red.
I love that, and I also love that the whole premise of this song is about color, right? Her dress was pink and green, and so I liked evoking color for me. My cheeks were red. I liked that color parallel. I liked, we're talking about her, we're talking about me, splitting the difference there. So that's a nerdy songwriter moment for you as well. The last thing that I wanted to show you that's uniquely special about this song is the horn motif. And I have it right at the beginning. It starts right away with the horn, which is right here. So we have horns there, we have horns in the middle, I showed you this. Right, they happen here. So I keep hinting at these horns, but I never give them to you all the way. And all this right here is a big horn breakdown at the very end. I'll play you just a little bit, but if you want to hear it all in context, you're gonna have to stream the song. So I hit that same motif, ba 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 ba. That is the interstitial part in the middle of every line, but at the very end, it has found its home with all of the other horns that come in for one exciting last chorus, without any vocals, without anything else, just that like old classic big bandy feel to tie this whole thing together, because I kind of envisioned this as like a dance, you know, and I say it in the lyrics. Her hands when we danced had me running in circles. I picture it like a big band is playing and I've seen this person from across the room and we have this one amazing dance and I can't stop thinking about her and her dress was pink and green, you know what I mean? So I was trying to paint that whole picture. You know, I come from the theater. It's all about the story. So those are some of the like secrets of the song that I just wanted you to kind of get a clue into before you listen to it. So now when you listen to it, you can hear those personal touches that I added in to try to make the story make a little bit more sense, to try to make it a little bit more sonically appealing. And the whole point of me making music on my own in this studio without a label, without, you know, anything like that, is because I want to make sure my music is as personal as possible, and I want to make all the decisions about how I can make it personal and tell you all about it. And that's what I'm trying to do now. So I hope you liked this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, Daddy. And I'll keep bringing you more content on the whole music side of things. In the meantime, please, please, please mark your calendars. March 26th, that's when Pink and Green is available everywhere. And please stream the living soup out of it, because I'm really proud of it and I want as many people to hear it as much as they possibly can. Because this song just sounds like love to me, and I wrote it about someone that I'm very in love with. And I want you to feel the same thing that I feel when I made it, when you listen to it. So there's my soapbox. Enough of the corny bull soup. I say soup so that I can swear without swearing. It's how I stay monetized on the YouTubes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Stream Pink and Green. Bye.